Hello and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Lanard Jumanji Colossal Elephant, which also comes packaged with the rock. This is an exclusive line available only at Walmart and also consists of other really cool looking animal toys. Let's talk about this packaging. I think it looks really nice. Lanard has a pretty good approach in general, really creating the aesthetic, the overall feel of whatever product they're trying to represent, whether it's Kong Skull Island, whether it's Primal Clash, or in this case Jumanji, where they're really playing up that jungle vibe that the packaging gives to you. So we do have that Walmart sticker in the back. We also have a very Mattel Jurassic World looking try me sort of indicator right there, as well as the button right there, because Mattel does that too, indicating that you should push the button. You can see the rock right in front of a snake and also a jaguar with piercing blue eyes. On the back, it says that we get realistic action and sound, and there's some different animals there. On the opposite side, it's the same animals from the front, but the image has been flipped. Top basically just says Colossal Elephant. The bottom tells you about the batteries and has the UPC. And the back says, Adventure awaits. In the world of Jumanji, where you don't just play the game, you must survive it. With its tremendous size and strength, the Jumanji Trample and Tusk Colossal Elephant towers above all others. Encounter and experience the wild world of Jumanji, where adventure awaits. So they're definitely pulling a little more from Mattel's Jurassic line with titles like Trample and Tusk Colossal Elephant. I mean, come on guys, that's pretty obvious. But that's okay. I really think the packaging looks nice. You do see the toy, it looks pretty much like it does in the front. It's not like overly stylized, maybe a little bit, but not too much. It's a little airbrushed. Realistic elephant sound, action and head movement, and collect them all. Get wild. So you do see the other items available in this $15 price point wave. I think this was $14.97 is what I paid for it. So there's the rhino, there's the hippo, and here's the elephant. And they all come with human action figures. So super cool. I mean, it's just hard to believe that this is, $15 for what you're getting here. All right, so I'm going to take a few minutes to get this unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Colossal Elephant and the rock. All right, so here's the elephant and Dwayne Johnson out of the packaging. Let's go and take a look at the figure first. So you can see you have an itty bitty, well, he's not itty bitty, he's like 4 inches. Dwayne Johnson figure right here, and look at that likeness. That's actually really good. That is actually really good. I mean, he probably looks a little bit beefier than you might in real life. I don't know though. I mean, clearly Dwayne Johnson is pretty ripped. So the figure looks accordingly. So I don't know what this is. There's like some like bleeding, or I don't know. It's probably like paint that got into his muscles. So that's how big his muscles are. You just can't paint around them. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very muscular looking figure, but proportionally it's not too bad. Even if it's a little bit exaggerated, it definitely has that army man sort of look that Lanard is pretty famous for. It's not too bad. I mean, the likeness is certainly there. The outfit looks, pretty decent. You can see he's got his khaki shirt, he's got his belt, he's got his dark green pants, he's got his knife right there that's protected in that sheath, and he's got his boots. So, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I mean, even the boots are pretty nicely sculpted. Not the fanciest paint detail, of course, but, it looks pretty decent. His arms do look a little bit weird. I think they were trying to sculpt veins. I assume that's what they were trying to do. And honestly, it's kind of ugly. Doesn't even really look very human-like, but, we can forgive it. Same with the screw holes. I mean, as a kind of just a pack-in figure, it's fine. For articulation, you can see that does have a rotation here at the head. It does have ball hinges at both of these shoulders, so they are kind of loose, and this is kind of a Lanard thing as well. The joints tend to be a little bit loose on them. You have insert molded connections there at both of the elbows. Now, they are kind of the cheaper approach in which you get to see those ugly rivets, but it is what it is. Rotation here at the waist. He can almost do a full split. He can kick his legs outward. Again, these are kind of loose joints. I mean, you can even kind of see the figure, it's a little bit rickety. Here at the knees, you can bend them. They don't rotate side to side. They just bend, but it's a nice bend. Nothing going on at the ankles. And again, he does have that little sheath there for his knife. So the knife does come out and you can put it back in. It's nicely sculpted. It's not very nicely painted. It's basically just a tan accessory, which again, as a pack-in figure, it's kind of hard to complain about it. It's fine, especially if you're just going to leave it in there. Now, as far as height is concerned, this figure comes in at close to 4.5 inches, so definitely a little bit larger than your average 3 3/4 inch scale figure. Now, of course, it's all going to be about this elephant. The figure, it's fine that he's there, but, I'm excited about these animals. So the elephant actually looks really nice. Like, it's sculpted nicely. You can see that throughout the body, but it's also got a nice paint wash on it to kind of highlight some of that sculpted detail. And you can see that in here. They just kind of gave it that dark wash to kind of augment some of that sculpting. And I think the end result is really nice. The actual sculpting, like I said, is nice here. If you look here at the legs, you can see that there's a lot of texturing going on here. They did not paint the toes, which, not the end of the world. Would have been nice if they did. There's the battery door in the belly and the speaker hole, which is kind of big. It's a little obnoxiously big. Here at the back, you can see that it's got this little tail. It's pliable, but it looks like it's glued in place. It doesn't seem to come off, which is good because that would be kind of weird. Yeah, so it is pre-posed in this sort of position, but you can move the legs. They all move forward and back. There is no outward movement like we get with the Jurassic World dinosaurs. You don't have that here, but you do move quite a bit, and that is pretty nice. Now, this leg right here, and you guys will have to let me know if yours was like that, if you have this figure. It seems like it was stuck. I had to pull it really hard to loosen up the joint, and as you can see, it looks like maybe it was like glued, because there's that little white spot right there, and then you can see where it was like attached there. Clearly it's articulated, so I don't know why they would glue it. So if anybody had that issue with theirs, let me know if yours was like that. I don't know if it was just mine or what. So let's talk about the head. This is where you have that really nice detail. The sculpting is still really great at the head, but also like the paint detail, like those look like really nicely done elephant ears. The washing is really nicely done here at the front. And the trunk, I mean, it is pre-posed. The mouth is pre-posed open. You can't close it or anything, but it looks amazing. And as I may have forgotten to note earlier, this is actually a really hefty plastic. Like, I mean, it's just solid through and through, very solid. Yeah, there's a lot of personality in that head sculpt. The tusks are really nice. You can see that they're these long, really bright white tusks. So maybe they could have, colored them down a little bit, but elephants usually have really bright tusks anyway, don't they? The eyes look really good. I mean, those are almost kind of like soulful, I mean, they look like very lively, and they did a really good job, with those eyes, really giving this thing personality. And I really appreciate that. I mean, just the sculpting of like the trunk, and okay, there's no painted detail inside the mouth, but I mean, it looks alive, and I think that's really the important thing when you're, making animal toys, is you want them to look alive. You don't want them just to look like little Papo or safari statues. This looks really good, and it's a toy. It's articulated. It has an action feature. Love that. So here at the head, you can kind of tilt it side to side. If you push it up, it does hold its place, but that is part of the action feature. So I don't know if it's meant to do that or if it's just a byproduct of having that action feature, but it does keep its position if you want to have it, kind of more looking up, which I think is fun. I think that's really cool. You will see that when you lift the head up, the button on the back also moves down. So if I move it up, the button goes down. When I put the head down, it closes back up. So let's talk about how this action feature works. Now, obviously, you just press the button, and it lets out this really awesome elephant bellowing noise. It's great. I think it's the same sound effect every time you push it. But, whatever. It's an awesome sound. It's not generic. It sounds like an elephant. And I think that whatever Lanard's goal was with this toy, they certainly delivered. As far as the size of the elephant, for your height, you're looking at about 6.5 inches tall. And from the tip of the tail to the tip of the trunk, it's going to be close to about 10 inches long. And yeah, I'm sure some of you are totally wondering, you can put the rock on top of the elephant. So he just kind of sits there. There's not really a saddle or anything for him to grab onto, but yeah, it works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Lanard Jumanji Colossal Elephant with Dwayne Johnson / The Rock action figure. Overall, you guys, this is an awesome set. I am super pleased with how this turned out. Now, like I said, Animal toys are really hard to come by. Yeah, we can get the Papos, we can get the Safaris, all that stuff. You know, that stuff's fine. It's great. I enjoy it. But like actual animal toys that are detailed and posable and make sounds, that's not very common. So in that sense, I really appreciate what Lanard has done here with this toy line. Now, it's not just the elephant. There's a lot of different animals in this line for $15 though. And I do intend to get all of them eventually, little by little. It's not going to be a huge focus of my collection, obviously, but little by little, I would like to get all of these because they're just awesome. And from what I've seen on the shelf, they're all just as great as this elephant is. And the inclusion of the rock figure is great. I mean, listen to this, $14.97. You get an elephant that's this detailed, it's posable, it makes an awesome sound, and it's just fun to look at. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I think this is one that is totally worth adding to the collection, or any of the animals in this line, really. They all seem to be of the same quality. So whatever your favorite animal, or whether you want to get them all, I think these are really good values, and I'm definitely looking forward to adding more to my collection. All right, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you think about these toys, whether or not you've seen them at your Walmart store, and if you will be picking them up. So let me know. I do read all the comments. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.